All right, we are back. Welcome, everybody. We got Fight Night Abu Dhabi. Whittaker taking on fucking the refrigerator, the Ritter. Now, I'm a lone wolf this week, just for this video. And Lethal Hands will be coming and joining me actually tomorrow. Sometime during the evening, he's got some stuff going on. And I just thought, what a better time just to go through the card, give my purview, let it cook, let it settle for the few matches I'm in between, reconsider, check out weigh-ins, and hear from my man. Now, last week, and I know Lethal, he loves looking at the bookies and just fading with the big underdogs. He cashed out great on the main. I did great on the co-main, right? Literally 5 for 5 on the prelims. Methods, rounds, like we were just straight cooking. But at the props of these dogs on the main card last week, I think Dana said something like, outside of the fight with Max and Dustin, if you had all the underdogs on the main card alone, $1,000 would have hit at like 300,000. So like I say every week, sprinkle on that shit, have some fun with it, because at the end of the day, it's MMA, it's a fight, it's a imano sport, y'all. And yeah, anything can happen in a fight. Now, there's a few of these favorite matchups on this card that we'll be getting into here in a moment. And I'm not going to lie, I may have a pick on it, but from a betting stance, I might even run it down the middle, bet distance, bet by method specific, knockout. The fight with Lewis and Texera, I thought it was crazy. The fight by knockout prop was like negative 400. Now, on its own, that ain't shit, but you can parlay that to the moon. Practically every leg you throw, tap that one in there by knockout. And yeah, I ended up on that card. I know we're talking back 2 cards ago, but Lewis, even look at the first round knockout props as an underdog. He has plus 750 by first round knockout, and that's the knockout king. Now, as we go through these picks right now, I'm not really going to talk much on bets. I might cook something like that up Friday and just kind of recap what I have. Obviously, the line movements play a big factor in this, so maybe down the road I'm going to open that up and just kind of share what I'm thinking earlier in the week. Sometimes I do cook up some of these parlays literally Thursday, Friday night, so that's when the method-specific props for me become available on Thursdays. I wish I had that earlier in the week. We just don't. Or else I'd love to talk about it more. But we're going to focus mostly picks. Again, I appreciate you guys joining in. This segment's going to be up on MMA Toad also. I figured I'll throw it over to Lethal to give, his purview as well. And I'll put that segment up on Lethal Toad MMA. So if you haven't checked out that channel, please do so. It's a nice little collaboration. I'm going to be doing some interviews, some fight interviews. So fans from the community, gamblers, collectors, we're going to have a variety of people on, I think. And obviously the fight interviews, it's always nice to maybe throw different questions their way that they maybe don't get so stereotypical, and get to know these guys on a different level and purview, and really kind of open them up. And I think I'm the man for the job. I don't mind talking to a variety of people. I don't think it's, I don't know. I'm not shy, if you will. Some people are like, they got to know each other a bit to really like kind of warm and open up. And historically, I've been able to generally bring that out of people. So I'd like to use that to my advantage for the community, and also as a fan, just kind of let ourselves in and get to know these guys. Now, if you're interested in being on the show, I've likely already been messaged by you, but I do want to help construct Lethal Toad MMA, where maybe it's just the main card. Maybe I might say, give me your favorite lock and give me your fight you're in between, or you know what I mean? What fight are you most interested in? But I do want to kind of, maybe in a shorter segment of time, in respect for people who don't have all night to do this shit like Lethal and I sometimes, help speed things along. And I think it would help create better content. And then at the end, throw like a blooper chit chat. If you wanted to hang out, talk about bets and all the other shit, hey, watch this one too. But maybe just from a pick stance, we could turn this shit into a reel. Let's fly through the main card. My pick, their pick, Lethal's pick. Move on. And I'm obviously open to doing this as well for anyone else joining in. If Lethal's not available, we can certainly shoot the shit and go through our own things too. So I do want to kind of help open this up for anyone who's wanting to join in, be part of something. I think it, for me, was a really big piece in doing this just a little over a year ago, is just being open to being exposed a little bit, right? Having the pick sheets behind me, standing there in my garage with a phone, with a tripod, just shooting the shit, having fun, and getting through life. This next upcoming month, I will have several weeks where it's like, fuck, that fight night, that pay-per-view is literally my driving force, because I will be going through a very, very difficult time. So with all that said, thank you guys for hanging out. I'm MMA Toad. Let's get into this shit. Please like, comment, subscribe, and do all that shit. All right, kicking things off, guys. Martin Buday taking on Marcus Buchecha. So here's my thing about Buday. Love that shit. Love that booty. Oh, sorry. Buday, the fighter. Not that. He's not really one of these guys who's coming out swinging with lethal conviction, knocking motherfuckers out. He's actually more of kind of a grindier. He's going to work off the edge of the octagon, pepper in little shots, try to get that standing control time and sneak in volume. If a big shot upsets somebody, because of course it's heavyweight and sometimes a really random shot can do that, cool. That's where you see him kind of execute that striking kind of grappling mix and go for the finish. He's certainly capable of it, but the issue is with Marcus here, my boy, he's got some good jiu-jitsu. And so all this laying and just kind of not advancing the position is really going to play a disadvantage here. And I think Buday's best shot is to just stay on the feet. I'm going to take Marcus in this fight. I think he's able to kind of shut down that grindiness that Buday brings to it. But again, it's a fight at the end of the day. It could be a straight shot. The striking of Buday is his best friend in this. He doesn't want to get close to Marcus in this fight. So I think it's going to be a tough match for Buday to make those adjustments. I got to go with Marcus. I know, it's kind of like a kryptonite on picks to fade the veteran and reckon the new guy. That worked out pretty good last week, actually. So, Islam came out and fucking starch. Pow! Got that knockout. Beautiful. And then he didn't take any damage, so he still gets to go do his other job too. Anyways, we're gonna go with Marcus. I'm gonna say submission in the first 2 rounds. It could be a shot that sets something up, but I think he's just gonna expose Buday that this whole I'm a striker / grappler shit ain't gonna work. So that's my prediction. We'll look at fight to end by finish as a parlay piece if the prop isn't too terrible there. But yeah, I think we do see a finish in the first few rounds. All right, moving up the card, Mohamed Yahya taking on Steven Nagwin. I forgot how to say it. I looked it up on YouTube. It's not Gwen, as some people say. It's like, I can't quite do it. But I watched a YouTube segment, and I'm just going to call him Steven. All right, Steven is actually a pretty well-rounded fighter. He's okay on the stand-up. He's not afraid to get scrappy and grapple. He's great about peeling away, good about getting off his back. He's not going to just lay dormant and let someone like Yahya have his way in this fight. He's going to make reads and adjustments. But Yahya is from Abu Dhabi, and so we might sprinkle on that given the live prop probably ain't going to be looking good for him. By decision's probably good, assuming he's an underdog. I did not look. Let's go back and check. Okay, glad that's working. Scroll down. Yeah, dude. 11% of people have him in this fight, so his props are going to be good. And given he is from His Majesty's magical kingdom of Abu Dhabi, there's a shot that he gets an upset, a robbery, right? But yeah, he's really got to go for broke and, make this fight ugly and take risks, because if we're going by pace and progression in the fight, I gotta trust that Stevens' full roundedness, fight experience is just overall better and will look better here. Both highly ranked in the world in terms of like, high up in the rankings. What are we looking at here? 100th featherweight taking on a 339th fucking lightweight. Holy shit. Now, thankfully, the rest of the card just absolutely stacked for the most part. But yeah, those rankings, woof. But here they are on one of the best fight nights of the world, because His Majesty has plans for our young friend here, Muhammad. So whatever that prop is, sprinkle on it by decision. Gonna go by Steven, and we could see a finish here. Submission or knockout by Steven as well. So Muhammad might get exposed. He's got to at least make it to the judges in order for that shit to work. His Majesty can't control that part. All right, moving up the card. Ibo Islam taking on Billy. Ilican. Alicana. Dude, Ibo just throws fucking hammers. He's literally a first round, second round knockout artist at most. At light heavyweight, he goes for it. He's got a good reception, good level of fans out this way. They're going to be cheering him on. So you're going to see a very biased, one-sided, just like the fight before it, where one guy's coming out getting cheered, the other guy's coming out getting fucking booed. Now that's Billy, and Billy's also going to go for broke here, and he's capable of a knockout himself. I don't suspect he's going to get it, but I'm going to look at the prop, fight in by knockout, and I'm going to look at distance, fight not to go third round. And at light heavyweight, I think I like it. So, Ibo, again, I like his range. He's got just a powerful, quick 1-2. Then that hook that he throws is definitely a Shadow Realm sender. So, I'm not saying it's going to do all the things to get him all the way up at 205, but it is a proven tool set to sustain and be at the top as well. So I'm not a fan of some of these 205 guys that have all the tools in the shed, and it just seems like you go out there and watch them fight 15 minutes after 15 minutes, and the only guys they were able to come out and flushly knock out and be smooth with it were much lower in the rankings. So if Ibo can sustain these first round knockouts, good conviction, looks smooth, not taking any damage, let's get this guy more active. I'd like to see him fight a little more, and I am going to take him on my pick there. Moving up the card, Amanda Ribos taking on Tabitha Ricci, little baby shark. Here's my whole thing on this one. So Ricci, she's kind of like Boudet in the sense where she just wants to hug up, clinch up, pop that shit out, and hit little baby shark jabs that ain't gonna fucking finish nobody. She's capable of a submission if the fight gets there, but she's also not aggressive about wanting to advance that position and take these girls down. She's pretty happy on the side of the octagon, getting control time, using her halo effects, and just simply getting decision wins. Amanda, I think she's had her better days behind her. You know, she's fought good levels of opposition, and normally you can level up off this and make your own runs and be one of the better ones. And I think Amanda has seen that time, and we're starting to see her fade. She's a vet. Women's MMA, if you're in your 30s, I mean, some of these women want to have families. Some of them just sustained a lot of damage, the wear and tear. Yeah, because women's prime's much sooner than men's, right? So, yeah, I'm just gonna say that I think Tabitha, like I said, she's gonna just hug up, pepper little shots. I think if Amanda could break away and keep at range with Tabitha, that'd be her best shot. Is just striking with Tabitha, because she's not good. She's not a good striker. She's got like a few little kicks, like inside low kicks and shit. But she's just baby shark shit. And if Amanda can keep this at range, great. But truth is, she's also kind of more of a hybrid, that grappler, that striker mix. And I see Tabitha just being a little bit stronger in these exchanges and being able to reverse position and hold control time. So a decision, might look at over 2.5. We'll see. All right, moving up the card, Damon Blackshear taking on Davey Grant. Blackshear, man, he's pretty good. He's going to come out, be patient with it, and Davey Grant's not. So that's what I'm curious to see. If you're an early starter and you bring a lot of heat, which Grant does, he's capable of a knockout in this first round. Davey Grant, great underdog, first round knockout. But as I see this fight progress, and I see all that kind of start to wear down, and that speed and that volume wear down, that power wear down, I think Blackshear looks more and more alive to get close to Davey, work on his own combinations, and continue the grappling game until he finally gets a takedown. Now, if Blackshear's on the ground with you, he's totally live for a submission. You got to respect the twister game. He's one of those. He's got good jiu-jitsu. But it's his stand-up, and we know that he's got a button that can just put himself out that, well, he's got to make it there first, right? He's got to make it there. So, you know, I like Davey Grant. I'm always rooting for this guy as a dog. But from a theoretical pick, something with some logic to it, and the way I actually see it happening is Blackshear, if he doesn't catch Davey Grant being too aggressive, too aggressively coming at him in the first round, he's probably taking this into a second round and working for a second, third round finish. On the ground. Could start to open up with some hammer fists and some elbows, but it's likely his grappling, his jiu-jitsu. I predict a rear naked choke. Blackshear just backpacking. Gets Grant to turn in. Like I said, some ground and pound that opens it up. Blackshear gets it done. All right, so moving up the card here. You got Muslim taking on Carlos Leal. Muslim Saikov, this dude, he's got some great Kung Fu shit. The Kung Fu master. He throws some great kicks. His nickname, officially King of Kung Fu. Forgive me. It's been a lot of Kung Fu the last few weeks. Wasn't much from Holland, unfortunately, but maybe Muslim restores the Kung Fu game a little bit. We got Carlos Leal is coming out for broke. He got fucked over last time. I know he kind of came into the scene a little, roided up, little acne titty back and shit like that. But without it, he's still showing up and he's still game. He's still scrapping. He wants to throw bombs and he wants to go for the finish. I reckon it's going to be a knockout finish. I'm very confident in that. So that's a prop I plan on looking at. Again, sorry we can't share specifics, but I'm at least throwing it to you. And I think Muslim, he's got to hit another impressive, crazy kick at range, because the moment that void is crossed and Leal's in your face, I am 100% in belief that Carlos Leal would be the one to get the finish in the pocket, with the boxing, with the hands. So Muslim's cool. He's got the capability of putting guys out at range. Anybody in the weight class, really, with the right kind of kick, with his expertise and strength. But at his age, the decline we've seen, it's been very back and forth. He just got a fantastic finish, and congratulations, to him. It was Kenan Song, was it? Yeah. So good for him. But dude, you're also another one of these 41-year-old toads, my guy. What's Carlos like? Mid-30s? 31. He aged a little bit from that, fucking my boy. So he's got to get a finish this time. It's another V. We all know how that works. There's 7 Vs on the card, and 2 of them are fighting each other. We'll get into that one very soon. Very excited for that matchup. But hey, this is another V on the card. You gotta be careful of those decision wins, those upsets. It's happened before. But I reckon Carlos knows this shit. He's gonna go out for a finish. Let's see what he's got. Let's see if he gets it. I'm going Leal. Moving up the card, Bryce Mitchell, brother. taking on Said Nurmagomedov, the Harry Potter in the closet stairwell room. In terms of the name, there's no like relation, but when you share that name, you obtain a lot of criticism and expectations, regardless. So, Bryce Mitchell, he's a scrapper, man. I like watching this guy fight. He's another one of these guys where he's very comfortable in those scraps, the grappling. Love Bryce Mitchell on the ground. It's the stand-up that we all kind of clinch up for a bit, because we know that he's game to eat some shots, but you can certainly hit a few buttons yourself and put Bryce kind of on the back pedal. And he's normally never really been like that. Another one of those members of the Twister gang. That's 2 of them boys on this card. Congratulations. So bet on some submission props, boys. I know it's another V, and the decision could get a little hectic, but what I like about Bryce is he's always fighting to advance that position. He's got really sustainable cardio, so I like him, especially in a 15-minute fight where he can intentionally let go and keep that volume and his striking going between the grappling. And that being said, I hope he just has good reads. If he's going for these takedowns, I don't want him to put his neck out there and get fucking ninja choked, which Said's just good at. You know, one of those quick darces. But I expect the fight IQ of Mitchell at this level to be comfortable and familiar enough to advance and keep his head safe, keep his neck safe, while still bringing that grind, bringing that pressure. Said's going to have good range, good stand-up, great kicks. Mitchell, I don't really like the guy's kicks as much. He's got a few. Nice little oblique kick, and yeah, he can get a kick or two out, but this would be another one of those that I want to see Bryce cross the void, not just go for a takedown, mix it, get Said kind of biting, maybe guessing, get him hurt a little bit, and if Bryce is able to keep on the gas pedal and keep grappling, I think the cardio will be a big factor come third round, because Said's just historically, he does not sustain the best. In fact, you wouldn't know that he's from a mountain. You know what I mean? So I got Bryce Mitchell as my official pick. I think it's a great matchup, and I'm excited to see it. So, all right. Moving up the card, I think this one has fight of the night potential next to the co-main and main event. So out of all the other fights on the card, stylistically, the matchup between Nikita Krylov and Bogdan Guskov is beautiful as fuck. Both these guys are going to come out, be really good with the striking, be very cautious, but when they hit that shot and find an opportunity, we're going for that submission. So it's another fight that I can almost assure you, out of all my predictions on this whole card, that this fight won't go to the judges. But I can't promise you it's not by either a knockout or submission, right? Because these guys are both equally, well versed in that realm. I'm not going to say better, right? I'm going to say they're both equally in that realm with the striking and the grappling. But dude, when I look at Guskov, he's kind of hitting that point where he is just continuing to show the level up game. And I feel like we've seen that from Nikita already. I feel like Nikita doesn't quite match the current skill gap of Guskov. Like, they're both well balanced, is what I meant to fucking say the first time around. They're both good at mixing the fight. It's not a typical 205 or slugfest. They bring different levels to it. But I like Nikita at range with his kicks, and I like Guskov with his grappling more. And I expect the fight to end by finish. So I'm going to take Bogdan on this. I think he's also played a huge contribution into Walter Walker leveling his game up, his grappling, that friendship, that camaraderie. I don't know exactly how much training they've done together, but I know that he's had an impact on, seeing that kind of support in the last few times they fought. They were on a card together, or one way or another. Maybe it was Bogdan and Volker's corner, but look at the guy's coming out in his own regard and hitting heel hooks, and iron sharpens iron. it makes me favor the grappling and the submission attempt that much more from Guskov. So I always like him by knockout or submission. But yeah, especially submission. So that's going to be my prediction first, second round. All right, moving up the card. Dogs barking. This is a dog of the card right here. Jose Ochoa going to take on Asu Ayambayev. Asu is the heavy favorite here. Now, it is another V. He does focus on putting his head down and wrestling forward the entire fight, trying to get the fight down to the ground. I don't think he's as good at keeping his opponents on the ground and really threatening the craziest amounts there. And that's where I see Ochoa just kind of opening up his own ground potential in this game. Assuming he does get taken down by Asu, I like Ochoa on the ground here. I think we're going to open up some big elbows. I think we're going to be live for our own submissions. Triangle is really live here. The way that Asu puts his head down and just kind of charges in. But on the feet, get no mistake about it, just like Manel showed, you can start to poke Asu in the eyes. You can start to really fuck him up and ruin his whole damn day. So I like Ochoa in this fight. He's going to be my dog on the card. I'm going to take Ochoa by a finish. I reckon we get a knockout. But the submission's live here too. The submission is live here too. But where they are not the same as on the feet, right? So I think if Ochoa is smart, he's not going to continue to grapple with Asu. He's going to break away and reset to the feet as much as he can. And each time he gets a moment to make that exchange, he's going to make the best of it. And we're going to see Asu either lose by damage or get finished. But Ochoa is going to be my pick in the upset. Is it like 70% of people have Asu? Well, yeah. 69%. Nice. Yeah, Ochoa is going to be my pick. I'm pretty confident in that. All right. Big names now, baby. Let's go. Shara Makhmedov Bullet. Shara Bullet, my boy, taking on Mark Andre. Dude, it's such an unfair match for Mark. Mark's slower. He's not really rushing across the void. If you really loft a big shot out there that misses and you're the one overcommitting, like, yeah, he's got some counter potential that could really set him up in this fight. But Shara, he's fast. He throws really good kicks, and Mark doesn't throw kicks. He boxes primarily. I like Shara Bullet a lot. It's his region of the world, so if it ends up being like another Bruno fight or whatever, you know, he's going to likely get the scorecard regardless if Mark does actually pull an upset like the dogs did on last week's main card. You know, it'd be 2 back-to-back dog barks. Hopefully, you know, Ochoa gets that win. Have a little wager on that. It would be crazy, and I just don't see it happening. So for all these guys that just want to be fucking UFC or MMA hipsters and always take every underdog, I'm warning you, it just isn't a good one for Mark on this. Now, you could look at prop distance by knockout, you know, fight to end by knockout, or fight. I don't even like fight not to go to the third round because I could totally see it being that. Shara, if he's not getting to finish early, like, it can open up later in the rounds for him, sure. But he himself just seems to fade that pop. You know, it kind of goes away, and generally it's an elbow that brings that finish capability back to life, or finally a kick gets through. I mean, he's capable of these third round finishes, but in this one, given its mark and knowing where he's been and how he's been finished, I like Shara Bullet a lot in the first 2 rounds by a knockout. Shara Bullet, it's going to be a kick. It's going to be spectacular. And he's going to say, like he did last time, Dana White, pirate run this island now. It belongs to Shara Bullet, the pirate, or some shit. I like this guy a lot. I'm excited to post cards this week. Definitely got some bullets. So, all right. Moving up the card to your co-main event. Sad it's not a 5-round fight. Piotr Yan takes on Marcus McGee. I hate breaking on these next 2 fights because there's just this piece of respect where it's like, yeah, you got to pick one, but fuck, I think Marcus McGee has potential. He's not young, but he's got potential, and he's at least bringing a new fight to these old unks that have been holding it down for a long time, and they've had a lot of tape on each other, and they've fought each other, and they've already been proven to each other. Marcus McGee has mostly been, phenomenal, but we've seen as he's kind of come up in rankings, that finishing potential. He's not quite losing it, but he's not sticking it as easily. He's not making quick work of these guys, and he's going through wars, and he's sustaining some damage of his own. I like Marcus McGee. I worry the shots absorbed here in this fight with someone like Petr Yan, who has a good balance of power and speed, isn't just this slugger, He's certainly going to be faster than Marcus. I could see him working up something. The biggest thing for McGee is catching Petr Yan on maybe like a low kick attempt, because Petr Yan, his boxing's phenomenal. He does open himself up ever so slightly when he throws his low kicks. And that's where someone like Marcus could really step through, maybe time it and check it. I don't think he's going to be fast enough to. Those kicks are quick. But Petr Yan's, more times than not, he's getting his short combinations, his boxing, his guard's excellent. And he's a gamer, man. He's never been finished either. But Marcus, the power that guy possesses at bantamweight, he'd be the kind of cat that would actually throw the shot that could do it. And that means no disrespect at all to Petr Yan if that ends up being the situation. Just given veteranship, age, and time, being at the top for as long as he has, and still showing promise, right? Fight Figgy, fucking phenomenal. Kind of like Moreno, just coming back and showing, boom, I am older, but I can still do this too. In terms of having a decent amount of time between fights sometimes. I mean, Jan's not the most active guy in the world. Let's pull this up. 2023, 2 fights in 2024, and this is his fight in 25. He may fight at the end of the year. It really depends on how it goes for him here, right? 2 fights in 22, so yeah. Obviously, a lot more active when he was the champ doing his damn thing, but the tough little streak right here made him just tough, Yeah, I mean, we took a year break. That's what I'm thinking. I'm mostly between Marab and Song Yadong. So, anyways, he's streaking. He's looking good. I like Petr Yan a lot. I like Marcus McGee a lot. For me as a fan, I'm enjoying this fight because I'm happy for both guys. But it is a huge slingshot for Marcus McGee to get thrown up to Petr Yan. I think it's good to bring a new face up. I thought Marcus, for himself, could have been due for maybe one more in between. Now, the thing is, too, guys, we don't have all the time in the world. Some of these guys are not super fucking young anymore, right? So I understand it if they're going to throw them some ranked fighters and try to make some shit happen, right? Marcus McGee, what we got here? Wrong button. He is 35, same age as me. I am like literally 3 or 4 months older than Marcus McGee. It's fucking wild. My prime, I feel like, was between not being a toad and actually getting after it, like a little over 10 years ago, right? But back in 21, I started going to the gym 4 or 5 days a week and did that for about a year and got to kind of go through that at 30 going into 31, that transition. And man, did I feel like I was getting my ass kicked. So anyone who's fighting, in general, respect to you. Anyone who's fighting over 30 years old, double respect to you. And then if you're motherfuckers like Davy Crockett here, Mr. Davy Grant, mega fucking respect to you. Oh, he's not even the oldest. We had a guy 41. Is that Muslim? Yeah. Mega fucking respect, bro, because god damn, that's another like 5 or 6 years on me, man. It's crazy. So anyways, last but not least, before we move on, thank you so much for hanging out. I'm going to take Petr Yan as a pick. I'll look at the props by fight to end by knockout here. I wish it was 25 minutes. Petr Yan would run away with it, though, for sure. Marcus, I think, would just not be able to keep up with the speed of Yan, and it would get picked apart. And we would see a very kick-heavy game early from Yan. Kind of work down McGee and slow him down. Because that finishing potential drains after the first 10, right? Marcus McGee, 3rd round knockout, not nearly as likely as the second round knockout, in my opinion. Because the guy throws. And he's tough. Fucking skateboarders, dude, tough breed. I know Marcus McGee will be game if this turns into a gunfight. Just Jan's going to be live for all 15 minutes. And we've seen the caliber he's been able to do it. So Petr Yan's my pick. Maybe we'll have some fun with McGee, or in general, fight to end by knockout. I think that would be a fun one. Not as likely in 15 minutes, so I don't like it. And it's still a bantamweight. You got to respect the flyweights and the bantams. They don't always get the finish, but they have some beautiful wars. All right. Gonna take a quick second here. Main event time. Robert Whittaker taking on Rainer de Ritter, the Refrigerator. Whittaker, let's just call it what it is. Feels like the elephant in the room, man. Probably one of the toughest matchups his last time out that you can have, right? Like, it don't get much worse than that. There's having something happen in a flash and being like, oh man, he got me. And then there's having your fucking jaw deconstructed, or his fucking bottom teeth just folding inwards like he described. That's fucking tough, dude. I actually thought it was the end of the Reaper. I thought it was over. I didn't expect to see Whittaker again. I mean, I wouldn't have been surprised. You know what I mean? I feel like we've gotten some good years out of this man, and he's seen his top, and some of these new guys, they're going to just continue to be harder matchups for him because his wrestling isn't as superior to their wrestling, and his striking's always been okay. But the thing that made the Reaper so good early on is he was exposing one or the other on his opponents. And now it's kind of expected in modern day MMA. Be fucking good at both, or else you'll get serial gone. So with age, with all these wars, all that accumulation, I don't know. It's tough. Now, they are the same age, but the Ritter's, I feel like he's just got more in the tank somehow, and he's making a huge drastic cut from where he used to fight too. So that part still gets me. I'm not counting Reaper out entirely. I just wanted to highlight the elephant in the room. That injury was a tough one to come back from. So on that alone, I'm already looking at the Ritter, who's riding huge motivation and influence on finishing, one of the golden childs of UFC right now in Bo Nickel. Beautifully placed knee was hurting Nickel. It was a lot of volume, right? It wasn't this big powerful shot that boom. It was volume, and had Nickel even trying to be cool in front of the camera and smile about it at first, until he realized okay, these are getting to me. Circles off, and right when he stepped in to throw that counter shot, the Ritter, using that length, that reach, that distance, steps in with a perfect fucking knee. And I don't know whatever happened with Bo's rib, but I bet you that shit, if not broken, he's got that cracked cartilage, that what they call it, swinging rib syndrome. I've had it before. It fucking sucks. It hurts so bad. Pretty sure that's what Kevin Holland had against Roman Dolidze. Those rib shots hurt. And DeRitter's great at throwing that kind of shit. And he's not afraid to use his elbows and knees. His jiu-jitsu's good. But I think the blueprint's there. Whittaker is so much live in the fight if you want to stand and strike with him. And his grappling, he's tough. He's got good scrambles. But if you are persistent and you're good at it, you can absolutely run down Whittaker, get him to the ground, and at least threaten the submission, pepper and shots, and win the round. Now, this is a 25-minute fight. And I think both these guys are totally capable of a finish. So I like the under 4.5 round prop right away. But I'm not going to sit here and say, oh, it's a fight to end by knockout, because I do respect DeRitter's grappling enough to imagine a submission finish, more than I could imagine him putting Whittaker out on the feet. I don't think, DeRitter's striking isn't all that great. It would have to be like a ground and pound. But he's got a lot of strength, and he's got a lot of range. And I think he just eventually hits one of those little shots that's like, oh, okay, ding, ding. And then he steps in, gets these guys wrapped up, and finishes the show. I like that the odds are pretty respected here for both guys. I just took a moment to acknowledge that. Be honest, I don't really look at odds a whole lot until we're here, and I'm wondering, like, because I am a bit between, right? I want to know what you guys think. I want to know what majority of the world thinks. I may very well change this pick on Friday after the weigh-ins. It's sad. It's really fucking sad because I kind of just got to ride off momentum on this one, unfortunately. I think 25 minutes is a dangerous amount of time when you just came off a very tough finish. I think DeRitter's got that zap over time, the grind. I don't know, he's looking good. And I worry for Whittaker to eat something in them teeth, go back to eating applesauce and fucking mush sweet potato and yogurts for another couple months. And while he has it done a final time, I'm worried. But in all due respect, I'm a fan of the Reaper, of the wars he brings. And his last time out here, absolutely fucking stole the show. Beautiful first round knockout on Ikram. So Whittaker's live for, I almost want to call this an upset. Right? Oh, it technically would be an upset. Whittaker, a very slight underdog. I'm just going to call that shit dead even, y'all. But yeah, I intentionally, or instinctively rather, was thinking like, yeah, this would feel like an upset if Whittaker pulled off the finish. Because rankings aside, I don't know. It's just, he's got so much more stacked against him because of that last performance and where he is now and where we've seen him before and where we see him today. He did come back, though. Last year, he absolutely had another surge. So, I hope he proves me wrong. I expect him to get this knockout within the first 3 rounds if it happens. Or I do worry that DeRitter is going to be live for a finish of his own. And it'll probably be on the ground. Probably wearing out Whittaker. And it's the ground and pound submission setup. So, yup. I'm going to take as an official pick for now. I'm going to take DeRitter by submission. I'm going to be rooting for Whittaker by knockout. Because he needs this one. It's sad to see like some of these guys that you grew up watching and enjoying. It's sad to see him take those 2 L's in a row. You know what I mean? And for bittersweet reasons, Max last week at least got to have that for himself. And that's why the fight was a win-win for me. I said to myself, either we're getting a beautiful Cinderella story, Dustin's in his hometown, friends, family, even more so wanted him to win for that reason. But at the very damn least, if the upset occurs, To the fans, not by odds, but to the fans, right? Dustin respectfully the underdog there against Max at lightweight, because Max, with what he did with Gaethje, tough. So anyways, Max, he got to finally have that pep in his step, because at the end of the day, he's not done fighting. He still wants to keep going. But for those big retirement fights, man, I always want those guys to win that shit, especially in Dustin's case. So I don't know what's around the corner for Robert Whittaker. When his would be, it'd be a card in Perth, I'm sure. Yeah. I think it may happen where if De Ridder wins, he has that conversation, and maybe in the next couple years we'll see that. I could see Whittaker taking a year where he fights twice, and rather than trying to worry about fighting in rankings, he becomes like more like a top 15 guy, gatekeeper. Right here, he's holding down the top 10. That's still very competitive, especially at middleweight when you're jumping up 15 pounds. So, could see Whittaker taking a step back, having more fights like the one he had against Ikram. There for the paycheck and there for a good ass time. But again, at this weight class, you guys have seen it. These guys are not only live for a finish, but they're live to do a number on the years. Do a number on your bank account. I just, when you can get finished in that kind of way, it makes me really worry about what we'll see next. So how's that chin holding up? How's that jaw holding up? Because this man wants to come out and swing and bang. So we'll see what that looks like against a very large and strong De Ridder. But that's going to do it for me now, guys. Coming up, like I said, this next couple weeks, y'all, it is going to be, since losing my mom, the toughest few weeks in my life. So I might do some streams on here, on YouTube. I might do some on IG as well, or simultaneously both. I want to rip some cards with you guys. We've done pretty good on these so far. Haven't opened blasters yet. I opened a couple mega boxes. We opened checkered, like, was it X Refractor, Max Holloway base. So then I ended up buying back one of my hobby boxes, just about $40. So any base Max Holloway you could get right now, your local card shop, between now and I believe sometime in September, should be giving you about $20 a piece on each base card. And if you're able up to get into the checkered and different iterations, the refractor, the negatives, they'll pay you more. So anyways, y'all, that's going to do it for me. Remember, this card starts a little early for Your Majesty. So it starts at 12 p.m. Eastern. And I don't mind these every now and then. It allows me to do something else with my night. I am in the midst of starting to pack, organize. And so as soon as I get this uploaded to y'all on YouTube and whatever else on IG, I'm back to the grind. So thanks for allowing me to step apart from a very busy, stressful, depressing time to enjoy talking about the fights. And until now, and watching the fights, I really appreciate, again, all the love and support. So enjoy them however you do that. And nonetheless, if you feel like, man, I wish I had someone to watch it with, check me out. I'll be streaming that live. IG and YouTube, Fight Companion, live reacting to the fights. In a rare circumstantial situation, I may have to sometimes miss those, but I'll at least do a better job of, from my IG, making a quick story or a post saying, hey, sorry I'm not going to do a Fight Companion, but let me catch up on the fights. If for any reason something happens and I have to catch up on them after the fact, I'll definitely do a post-fight hangout. We can talk who did what on bets, how do we like about, what were our favorite fights, what were our disagreements, bad scorecards, the V shit. So the OVs showing up in Abu Dhabi. But anyways, y'all, I feel like I could rant for days. Again, I appreciate this so much. We'll catch you next time. And sometime tomorrow, I'll be doing the same thing with Lethal. I felt like I had a good amount of time to let it all out the way I see it. I'm going to poke at him to see the way he sees it, chime in with my shit, have a few good back and forths the way we do, and move on. I'm hoping to make it a quicker one and then just shoot the shit after. And maybe in the quick breakdown, it could show somebody that's wanting to join us a nice structure and flow to things where someone else would have their rotation. I think if we could, with 3 people, do a full card breakdown in 40 minutes, that's bitching. If we did just the main card, we could do this in 15, 20 minutes, hell yeah. You know what I mean? I'm open to explore that a little bit. But for myself on this one, we did a good job capping off at 50 minutes. I felt like I gave a good breakdown. Probably could have slimmed it down to like 30-ish, taking away all the other shit. But for that extra 20 minutes, I appreciate you guys again. We'll catch ya. This is MMA Toad. Much love. Enjoy your fight night. Fight day. Abu Dhabi. We'll see you very soon. Peace.